Hello, hello, hello. I'm Sam and welcome to my channel Sew Let's Sparkle with Sam. And today I'm going to do a Sew the Look edition, plans edition. So yeah, very exciting. If that sounds like something that you would like to listen to, then don't forget to give me a like and hit that subscribe button. So I'm very pleased to tell you that I'm actually going to do a collaboration. So this video is all about a collaboration with my lovely friend Tamlyn, who is Sewn on the Tyne, and an idea that we kind of came up with together when she came for a visit recently to my hometown, Leamington Spa. And we were having a little wander around town, and I showed her two shops that I still buy my clothes from. Sometimes I don't buy very many ready to wear, but you know, sometimes I do like to treat myself. And those two shops are Lilac Rose and Mint Velvet. Now, Mint Velvet I know is one of the higher end, but because I don't buy very often, I can buy something a bit more expensive. And yeah, and I am currently wearing a ready to wear mint velvet top that I actually got in the sale. I bought it maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It's still going strong, and it's still one of those, if I want to feel a bit elevated, if I want to feel nice, you know, kind of, I've got it on with my Lala trousers at the moment, but I can wear it, you know, with anything, and it makes me feel good. So me and Tamlyn had a plan. Well, why don't we try and recreate, sew the look of a mint velvet item that really kind of catches our eye? So we were having a little wander around the shop, and there was quite a few things that caught my eye, as you know, as they tend to do. And so yeah, so what I've decided to do for my plans is I'm going to take you through 3 different items plus this one that I really like from Mint Velvet, and tell you how I might go about recreating that look, sewing that look. And then in a few weeks time I will have made one of them, and I will come back and show you which one I chose. And yeah, although just to fill you in a little bit, if you don't know very much about me, I can sometimes be a bit of an overachiever. So time willing, you might get more than one look. You know, spoiler alert, you'll have to watch and see. So yeah, once you've watched my plans video, don't forget to go and watch Tamlyn. And if you've come from watching Tamlyn's plans, then hello, you are welcome here. So yeah, so first things first is the top that I'm wearing. So I thought really long and hard, if I was going to, let me just put my iPad down because I don't want to drop it on the floor. If I was going to recreate the look, I think this one is all about the fabric. Now, none of these recreate the looks I'm going to make like identical items to the ones that are Mint Velvet, because if I wanted an absolutely identical item, I would probably go and buy it. It's about, for me, it's about sewing the look of a Mint Velvet, but making it much more me. So I have had this remnant of fabric in my stash for quite a long time. It's not a very big remnant, but it's quite wide, and as you can see, it's got, I think they call this fashion jersey. It's not got any stretch this way, it's got a little bit of stretch that way, but not a greatly amount. And as you can see, you would have to put something underneath it, because where the white bits are, it's very, very sheer. But I'm thinking it kind of gives the same look. Now this top is also 2 sections, so it's got this kind of chiffon-y, like a heavier weight fabric underneath, and then a lighter weight on top. And it is, as you can see, it is just one panel, and they've obviously done a lovely rolled hem all the way around the edge. So I'm thinking, well, I would just need a kind of cami top pattern underneath. So if I made something out of something like this, a cotton, just a regular vintage cotton, Sorry, I overlocked the edges to wash it, and it's white, which is why I've got white threads on. But it is just a navy blue, and it, as you can see, it's got a slight dobby to it, but it's a nice kind of thin, because I don't want to make a thick top underneath it. It needs to, you know, it's just for my modesty. So I would use that underneath and then that over the top. I wouldn't need a pattern. I'm pretty sure I could self-draft that myself, and I would recreate the look. So that is option one. So for option one is basically sew the top I've got. So it's kind of vintage mint velvet edition. So yeah. Now the next one, when I went into the shop with Tamlyn, mint velvet is always beautifully laid out. You know, I think that's part of the reason why I get a bit sucked in. But there were puffball sleeved shirts everywhere. Now, I think there's a very big difference between a puffball blouse and a puffball shirt. So I've seen lots of beautiful puffball blouses. The Nell, for example, the Nell dress and blouse, that one has got the V-neck, and there's lots and lots of more on the market. But what I was seeing, and I'm hopefully you're going to be seeing pictures here, because editing Sam's going to do a really good job and get them all coming up at the right time. And yeah, so, but they were more shirts. So they had like the shirt collar, the shirt placket, but then a dramatic sleeve of some kind. A lot of them were plain, some of them were patterned. There was some silky fabrics, some satiny fabrics, but there was a lot to choose from. So again, it's about making it me. So the fabrics that I saw, one of the blouses that I saw was actually more of a blouse than a shirt. Had like a leopard print effect. No, not a leopard print. Not a leopard print. Ignore that. A zebra print. I'm getting my animals muddled. It was a zebra print. Now, I don't really do animal print. I like patterns. I'm definitely a pattern princess, but not animal print per se. Again, I don't mind a bit of abstracty animal print, but not kind of in your face. And I have had this in my stash for the longest time, and I feel like it gives the same idea. So this is my first option for the shirt puffball blouse, but then very influenced by Tamlyn, because we were talking about fabric godmother's drop at the time when she came over. I bought this, and again, you know, I think both kind of give me the same vibe, would kind of do the same thing, but to make the shirt. So for that plans, what I would do is I would probably use the Nell blouse, because I've got that pattern, the puffball sleeve, but I would put it into the French Navy Seneca shirt. One, because I've made the French Navy Seneca shirt a lot. I love it. I know it fits me just right. I feel that the boxy fit of the shirt plus the gentleness of the puff sleeve will give exactly the same look as the shirts that I saw in store. And yeah, and I should imagine, I mean, I might have to do a bit of jiggery pokery to get them to fit, but yeah, I think that could look quite nice. So the next one is, and I have seen these everywhere, and it's funny because obviously Tamlyn came to visit me quite a long time ago, and so I had this idea quite a long time ago, and then all of a sudden this seems to be everywhere. And actually the pattern that I'm going to talk about wasn't out at that time, but it has come out since. And so I'm talking about a long line waistcoat, and I'm talking about the pattern, the Quinn waistcoat from Closet Core. And I want to make a denim one. So There was lots of long line waistcoats. There are a lot in linen, a lot in a sateen, and one that really caught my eye was a denim one, and it was just a plain denim. But I have had this fabric now. The lovely Adam, who is Adam Sews, gifted me this fabric because he wasn't going to use it, and originally I was going to use it to make a pair of Rowan trousers, but unfortunately there was not quite enough to make a pair of Rowan trousers out of this. But I've had a look at all of the measurements for the Quinn, and I will have plenty to make the long line out of this. So, and I can just imagine it in this with the kind of bronze jeans buttons on it, with all of and a nice bronze buckle across the back. So yeah, what do you think? I just think that that could look really special. Whistle stop tour, even easy to say. Get your teeth in, Sam. And then the last thing that I saw, but it was actually the first thing that I saw when we went into the shop, was everywhere were the broderie anglaise shirts, and the one that really caught my eye was a white one, and it was a fully white shirt. The embroidery anglaise was on most of the shirt, apart from on the placket and the collar, and that was all just plain cotton fabric. And I really like that look, and I know Tamlyn really like that look as well. And I just thought, yeah, I could definitely recreate that, but I wouldn't want to recreate it in white. One, because I've recently been making a few white tops because I realised that there was a little bit of a gap in my wardrobe for white tops, but equally I don't really wear a lot of white tops. So I've got the ones that I need. I don't really wear a lot of white tops, and I tend to shy away from wearing white because I'm quite a messy person. And it doesn't work, does it? You know how you can't keep a white blouse white for very long. So again, very influenced by Tamlyn, I went on to Fabric Godmother and I bought this gorgeous eyeletted fabric, and it's got quite big holes in it. I will definitely be wearing some kind of vest top when I wear this, if this is the one that I make. And I was thinking, actually, for the placket, it's got quite a wide selvage end, so I could either use this bit for the placket, or I could. So basically, again, I'd use the Seneca shirt, the French Navy Seneca shirt pattern, and for that you kind of like fold over the placket. So I could use this part of the fabric and have that kind of look on the placket, or I have I haven't got that out to show you because it's just plain black cotton. I think it's a cotton poplin, and then use that for the collar and possibly the sleeve cuff. I think that'll go on how it kind of comes together and how I think it kind of all looks at the end. But yeah, and there was quite a few of these kinds of blouses. So yeah, so those are my plans. And as I said, I'm going to go away now and be a very busy girl and decide which one or ones I'm going to make. So here's a little recap of my plans to recreate the look. I went into my local Mint Velvet changing rooms and I tried on everything that I wanted to recreate. So first things first is my pre-owned Mint Velvet top, my vintage Mint Velvet, and I'd like to recreate that by self-drafting it myself, and using this lovely kind of fashion jersey that I've had in my stash, along with a cotton gauze that I will pop underneath. So I will have like a cami top with the fashion jersey over the top, and maybe use some fancy rolled hem techniques. So that's option number one. Option number 2 is this lovely shirt. Now, they didn't actually have the shirt in my size with the broderie anglaise, so I'm going to pop a picture in of the one off the website, but the fit will be the same. All of the things that I tried on were size 12 or medium in mint velvet, and I had a good fit from all. So this one I will recreate using the French Navy Seneca shirt and this lovely broderie anglaise fabric that I purchased from Fabric Godmother. Option number 3 is this beautiful long line waistcoat in denim. Now, as you can see, even though I tried on exactly the same size, I will need to adjust the bust a little which is the great thing about making your own clothes. So I will be using the True Bias pattern, the Quinn pattern, and I will be using this gorgeous patchwork denim fabric from Adam Sews. So option number 4 to recreate the look, I will recreate this gorgeous puff ball blouse. So here this one has got a v-neck and buttons rather than the collar. So I'll be using the Nell pattern by Tilly and the Buttons, the blouse version, and I have 2 options of fabric. I have this beautiful fabric from Fabric Godmother, and I have this beautiful fabric that's been languishing in my stash for ages. Which one would you make? What's your favourite kind of high street shop? You know, if you could kind of sew or recreate the look of your favourite high street shop, what would it be? And what would you recreate? Let me know, because, you know, and if you've got any tips or tricks for any of the patterns that I've talked about, and how you might go around kind of making it up, please let me know. And don't forget to join me in a couple of weeks' time to find out what I've done and have I sewn the look. As I said, don't forget to go and check out my lovely friend Tamlyn, and don't forget to sparkle. I'll see you really soon. Bye for now.